Welcome to the United States of Small Business, a podcast where the essence of American entrepreneurship is celebrated in every episode. With host John Quick at the helm, join us as we embark on a journey through the heart of the nation, uncovering the inspiring stories of small business owners from coast to coast. Experience the vibrant energy of bustling cities and the serene beauty of small towns, all while discovering how individuals are turning their entrepreneurial dreams into reality, even against the greatest odds. Each episode brings you face to face with the dreamers, creators, and doers who form the economic backbone of our country, all sharing their spirit of innovation and resilience. Whether you are in the early stages of sowing the seeds for your own business, scaling new heights in your current venture, or simply captivated by tales of grit and triumph, you are in the right place. Tune in on platforms like Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and beyond. For deeper insights and to connect with the heart and soul of America's main streets, visit UnitedStatesOfSmallBusiness.com. Subscribe to United States of Small Business with host John Quick now and be inspired by the powerful stories of entrepreneurship, community, and the unwavering pursuit of the American dream. Begin your journey of inspiration with us today.
Welcome to another episode of the United States of Small Business Podcast. I'm your host, John Quick. Today, we're diving into the world of investing with Sean Tepper, the founder and CEO of Tykr. Tykr isn't just an investment tool. It's a movement towards making investing accessible and fun for everybody. Sean believes that while we are taught to work for money, few of us learn how to make money work for us. With over 2 decades of business experience and exceptional investment returns, Sean has mastered the art of building wealth and is here to guide you on your journey to financial freedom. So whether you're a novice looking to start or an experienced investor seeking to improve your strategy, get ready to transform your financial future with Sean's insight and Tykr's innovative platform. Let's learn how to turn investing into a powerful tool for personal growth and freedom. So without further ado, Sean, welcome to the United States of Small Business Podcast.
John, thanks for the invite. Appreciate it.
Well, this will be fun hearing a little bit about your story and how you've started up a couple of businesses. First, take me back to the 2000s when you started your first agency. Tell me what that was like. Everybody kind of catches their entrepreneur bug differently. How was it for you?
Sure. To take a step back even further, when I was going to school in the early 2000s, I worked for a larger hotel in Milwaukee. And I kind of learned, I didn't know this was my methodology, but it was kind of my personality per se, which is I'm kind of like a spy when I work for companies, not in a bad way, but I like to learn, how do they make money? How many revenue streams do they have? How do you talk to customers? How do you write contracts? In the hotel industry, I learned all the different revenue streams, but I didn't want to work in the hotel industry or create my own. So I graduated fine arts, got into the advertising world, worked for an agency, and learned out of all the services they make. Because of course I asked those questions, not on day one, but you build relationships like what kind of money does the video department make? How about the ad department? How about the we had magazines in this day and age. Yeah. And then I got to the software division and was like, whoa, they're the money makers. Okay. So I with a year of working there, I learned how to write some code, but I wasn't very good. It was like, okay, so I can put together WordPress and Joomla sites. So that's where I kind of figured, okay, I can create my own agency because there's not a lot of overhead with an agency. You just really need a computer and internet connection. You're off and running. And I created my own business. Now, the timing wasn't great. Did that through the recession. Didn't make really any money. We were growing, but I was adding more people, which created more liabilities, which means profit margins were very little. So I really didn't pay myself a lot. However, in 2010, we did start adding some bigger logos. Bigger agency approached us and said, hey, would you want to merge with us? And I was like, yes, I need to change directions. I was really burnt out. I was fried. It was not my kind of business model, not making any money, just it wasn't working. So we went through the merger. Now it wasn't a big check like, hey, here's $1 million. It doesn't work that way with a service business in most cases because the multiple in revenue is very low. So what happened was they wiped out all debts and liabilities. So I essentially had a clean slate. And at that point, I got into corporate contracting. I decided, let's go learn how big businesses operate and sell. I did that. In parallel to that, I got into investing, and I planned to work for large corporations for 2 years. That turned into 12 years, but it gave me enough time to invest, find success with investing, create an Excel sheet, use it for 4 years, and it was generating returns between 15 and 50%. Brings us to 2019. Started sharing that Excel sheet with a few other people, and they're all like, hey, when are you going to turn this into a software to share with others? And that was essentially the beginning of Tykr, which is my company today, which is a B2C SaaS. It's a subscription platform. And that's my dream business model. I respect the agency model. I tell people do that if you're passionate about it. It's just not a scalable business. I always admired Netflix or Salesforce or MailChimp. I'm like, that's the top of the food chain. That's what I want. So yeah, today now Tykr, we're fortunate. We have a little over 9,000 retail investors on the platform in about 50 countries, and we're really big on customer service. And I'm proud to say we have a Trustpilot score of 4.9 out of 5. So that's kind of the overview.
That's pretty awesome. So let's talk a little bit about Tykr a little more in depth. Tell folks what it does, because I think it's fascinating, and I think a lot of people are probably trading stocks can be intimidating, right? Because maybe somebody's not an expert, or maybe they've been told that you need a broker, there's a list goes on and on and on. Tell me what Tykr does and how it kind of helps folks make educated choices on stocks.
You got it. So just to zoom out a bit, there's really two main platforms in this space with investing. You either have a broker or a screener. A broker is, as you mentioned, that's where you connect your bank account. Popular brokers today are like TD Ameritrade or Schwab, E-Trade, Fidelity, Robinhood. Most people are familiar with Robinhood. That's where you connect your bank account and you can buy and sell stocks. And it's typically a low fee or free platform. And I will be honest, the world does not need another broker. They're all over the world, and they really don't give people confidence or education on how to make wise decisions. Now, the other model is a screener. Tykr is a screener and educational platform all in one. Our top competitors would be like simply Wall Street or Seeking Alpha. I always give great reviews of our competitors. They're very good, but they help you find good stocks and stay away from bad stocks. Our platform, you should go look at our Trustpilot reviews because our customers will really speak the truth. But we make it very easy to understand, hey, is Tesla or is Apple or Microsoft or Nvidia, are they good investments or bad investments? And then aside from that, we also teach people everything they need to know along the way, like when do you buy? When do you sell? What kind of stocks should you look for? What should you avoid? How do you reduce risk? The list goes on. And we help people get up to speed. Typically, no promises here, but based on those reviews, people say, hey, within 30 days or less, you can invest with confidence on your own. So that's the problem we solve, is making sure people invest confidently.
That's pretty cool. Now, does somebody need to be a millionaire to kind of be a part of this, or can they kind of get in at an entry level?
So for context there, about 80% of our audience are complete beginners, and we always tell people start small, start with $1,000 or less. And we use a lot of metaphors, or in my language, I say it's like that moment when you're a little kid, you're about to jump into the deep end of a swimming pool. It's absolutely terrifying. But after you do it once, it's like, hey, this isn't so bad. I can do it again. That's like buying your first stock. There's anxiety. You don't know, oh my gosh, am I going to lose all my money if I buy this one stock? The answer is most cases, no. If you're following Tykr, you make that one purchase, start small, like I said, $1,000 or less, and then every month you want to kind of dial that up a little bit. And we tell people try to get to between 15 and 30% of your income you're putting into the stock market. That's a nice sweet spot to aim for. If you can't get there yet, that's okay. Start small, but try to work your way up to that, because if you can go out 5, 10, 15 years, thanks to compound interest, you're going to be in a very good position.
So what's been maybe one of the biggest lessons you've learned as you've been building this particular company and it's seen some growth here?
The people we work with, I'm the type to give context there. I'm the type of person that I'll meet somebody and I don't do too many interviews. I'll meet them on the surface. Everything checks out. Okay, let's go. And in most cases, that has kind of bit me. And I did it again with Tykr. I brought in the wrong partner. I brought in wrong people, and I learned lessons there. and they have since been removed from the company. But it really taught me to, what is the old saying? Hire slow, fire fast. And I really follow that to a T right now. So yeah, people who they didn't have empathy for the customer, they didn't really get into their shoes and understand the pain they're going through and focus on how do we remove that pain. In fact, these people, they never talked to the customer, they never had desire to, and that's just a level of arrogance I can't deal with. So my biggest lesson learned was, yeah, wrong partners, wrong people.
So, who's somebody that you've looked up to along the way? I'm sure there's been a number of them, and I'm sure folks
Sure.
have looked up to you as you've started this company and it's been successful. But who's somebody that you've kind of seen as a hero in your life, and why?
Well, first on the list would be my dad. He was a salesman, and he didn't have his own business, but he really ran his sales territory as an entrepreneur. He kind of he was customer focused. That was key. Really focused that you want to focus on the customer, remove their pain. He didn't always get along with bean counters upstairs in his own businesses. There was always headbutting. But he had a saying, and this is key, is like, if you have all these tasks on your plate, you've got your checklist, everything working, he's like, do that which generates revenue first. That his was his main thing. You could have 20 things to do today, 30 things, whatever. You create a list, what generates revenue, that's where you prioritize. And he was the foundation of my entrepreneurial dreams. And other guys I really respected through the years on the investment side would be Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, and another guy by the name of Phil Town.
That's awesome. What's some advice you'd give to, folks that are going to be listening to this? A lot of folks are aspiring entrepreneurs. What's some advice you'd give to folks who maybe haven't taken that leap of faith yet and
Sure.
need a little nudge?
You know what? Don't put all the heavy lifting on your own shoulders. It's all about asking customers questions and find out. If you ever read a book out there called The Mom Test, it is really a good book on asking the right questions. Like if I were to go to you, John, and say, hey, what do you think of my business? Well, it's biased because you already have my business in mind, so you're probably going to give a reasonable response. But if I were to go to you and ask and say, hey, what platforms do you use today? And what do you pay for and why? You keep me out of the equation. Then I listen to what you're really using and then implement that in the business. It teaches you that. So it's all about asking the right questions of your customers to find out their pain and what they're paying for today. Because if they're paying for something, you can make a better mousetrap. If you create a product business or if you create a service business like an agency, how do you provide a better service, a more gracious experience from A to Z? You can do it. It's not too hard. You just have to listen to your customer.
That's awesome. So there's going to be folks listening in here also that are going to be thinking, man, how do I get a hold of Sean and see what Tykr does? It sounds awesome. So what's the easiest way for a new customer to kind of get involved with what you're doing?
Yeah, so we're a free trial, no credit card required platform. You can go to tykr.com, tykr.com, a 14-day free trial. And then after that, I try to be transparent with pricing. We're $15 a month or $99 a year. Most people go with a yearly because you save pretty much 3 months.
That's awesome. So I think I'll put I think I'll put the links in the podcast
Sure.
description for folks. So folks listening in, if you're curious on how to get a hold of Sean or Tykr, I'm going to put the links in the podcast description and all that stuff. Sean, are you also on social media, LinkedIn? Tell me all those details.
Yeah, aside from Tykr, the best place to get in touch with me is LinkedIn. I don't list any other social platforms because I don't use them a lot, but I'm on LinkedIn like every day. So that's the best place to go.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you joining us, Sean. 15 minutes has gone by in a flash here. Do you have any last minute thoughts before we head off?
The swimming pool analogy, buying your first stock, it's like jumping into the deep end. That's it. You're not alone. Once you do it once, it's not too hard thereafter.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Sean, here on the United States of Small Business podcast. For folks listening in, I really want to encourage you to go back and listen to the whole thing. You'll hear some tidbits of wisdom and nuggets of information on what might make you purchasing stocks a little simpler and easier. I'm going to put the link in the podcast description, make it easy for folks to click on Tykr and check it out. And I hope everybody has a phenomenal rest of your week. Until next time, I'm John Quick from the United States of Small Business podcast. Sean, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, John.